The Oxford school shooter is currently serving a life sentence for the deadly rampage back in 2021. Now he's trying to withdraw his guilty plea in the killing of 4 students.
But prosecutors are urging the judge to reject the gunman's request. Joining us now to continue this conversation is Rick Convertino. Rick, you were here with us through the Miller hearing, the trial for the shooter and his parents. So there's been a lot leading up to this point. Are you surprised at this move coming from the shooter?
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, he tried to withdraw his plea at a previous time, if you recall. So it's pretty standard. I mean, I'm not surprised at all that he is attempting to withdraw his plea, and also attempting to invalidate the sentence. Those are things that I think the three of us in previous conversations we all expected to come down the pike. So it's no surprise, and it will be no surprise when both of the motions are denied by Judge Rowe.
Does the judge have to consider this?
Does he have to consider it? I mean, that's a subjective question. He's considering the motions that are filed. In fact, he responded to the motions that were filed kind of in a caustic way, saying that they were late by a day and that they exceeded the 20-page maximum amount of pages that you can use for an appeal. Those were kind of, inconsequential things to pick on, I think, for an appeal of this magnitude. I think that the defendant in this case should get every single consideration that he can get at this point. He's 15. He pled guilty to a sentence of life without parole. There's some additional things that his attorneys think should be considered by the judge for the appellate rights, and that includes the fact that he allegedly has suffered from fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. That also came out before, if you recall. So nothing is out of the ordinary by way of surprise. There's nothing, I think, that's legally significant that's going to take this off track or have the appeal granted in any way.
Yeah, we can't at all try to get into his mind for any reason to figure out the thought process, but
I don't think you'd want to be in his mind.
No, you don't. But what would even make him plead guilty initially only to do this later?
That's a good question. There was no upside unless there was some kind of negotiations as to where he would be sentenced to. The facility, sometimes in the federal system, that kind of thing is negotiated. So you plead guilty to a particular charge, and in return, the prosecutor can request a facility for sentencing or to serve out the sentence. That's not uncommon. I'm not sure why anyone would plead guilty to life without parole in a case like this, rather than, I mean, there's no worse you can get. So, that's who knows why he did that.
It seemed at the time it was almost like it was his chance to take some accountability in front of the families, in front of the nation, with his statement. It was, "I deserve everything I'm receiving and I accept it," is what he said at the time.
Yeah. He could have pled guilty to the offenses and had some kind of leeway regarding the life without consideration of parole. I mean, like I said, there is no sentence worse than that's allowable under the state of Michigan's statutory requirements. So why he would do that is really beyond me. I mean, there's no consideration that he received in return for pleading guilty to all the charges as alleged, and for the maximum sentence.
Yeah, we know the civil cases are also moving forward, Rick. Any thoughts there, just in terms of how those parents are continuing their fight?
I think the parents are absolutely right in their request for an open, fair, and transparent investigation. I don't know, I can't figure out beyond all peradventure what Dana Nessel is saying and why she won't get involved in this. She's saying that she needs a formal request. Prosecutor McDonald from Oakland County is saying, "I don't know what you mean by that." There's the statutory limitations of the Attorney General certainly allow for her to conduct an investigation if it's in the best interest of the public, which this clearly is. So why she's not getting on the dime and starting this investigation after 3 years of this, not sure what the motivations might be, but I hope that she does this. Ben Johnson's an excellent attorney in the civil case. He has no backup in him, and I think that ultimately, the parents will find their just peace.
All right. Well, Rick Convertino, always a pleasure having you on set with
Well,
us.
it's a
with
pleasure
your
to be here with
insight.
both of you. Thank
Thanks
you.
for being here.
Thanks very much.